Very difficult to do.
See the flags blowing as we anticipated. The wind starting to clock a little bit more onshore this afternoon. Semifinal number 2 featuring Filipe Toledo, who's undoubtedly one of the favorites coming into this event, versus Italo Ferreira. What a matchup.
Yeah, Filipe is my pick to win this whole thing, but based off of what I saw yesterday afternoon, the heat between Italo and Ethan Ewing, not only did he get a buzzer beater to make it through, it was also an excellent score, Kaipo, so he's got what it takes to win here.
Back at the Surf City El Salvador Pro, presented by Corona, and a replay of opening ride of Italo Ferreira.
Yeah, and it already seems like he's off to a great start, Kaipo. Some beautiful transitional turns at the beginning of this wave. Oh, wow, a great turn right there. And straight up into the lip with that foam climb to finish.
That's a great point. Italo Ferreira on that soft right-hand rock point break. And that would make him very comfortable here. Here we go with Filipe Toledo. Nice rail carve to start off with. Toledo snaps a shorter radius for turn number 2. Looking down the line, seeking a ramp. Ollie's out there just to do an air reverse. Just so much pop off of such a little section.
But here at the Latin American Jeffreys Bay, he's looking equally as good. Beautiful wrap to start things off. And this was kind of a medium-sized wave. And you see a little bit of that wind swell playing into effect too. Slides the fins on the second one, and then kind of forces the air on the third section. Didn't really stand up the way he wanted to at the end, but how was the start though, Kaipo? Beautiful use of the rails, and this is going to be a decent opener for him.
Yeah, glides through on that sharp eye design, and working really well for him. I talked to his, look at that slide right there at the end, and coming down the line, and this is where it gets really impressive.
Yeah, but
the
see,
pop that he gets off of that section.
There wasn't really like a big section that was steep though, so that's why they kept the score relatively low. Came in as a 4.33. They want to see them actually do those on the big sections outside.
Filipe Toledo opened up with a 4.33. And there you go, the board control and the mastery of Filipe Toledo carving through after that flick out. Air reverse. And just throwing daggers at these chop sections out there.
Nicknamed him La Navaja, the blade out here.
Ferreira. Long carve on the backhand to open. Looks for the ramp, has to throw that one away.
You know, for a lightweight guy to make, you know, it look really solid and smooth and choppy surf, that's super impressive.
Thank you, Strider. Italo Ferreira up and riding, way up the point, and no open face for Ferreira.
You've seen a world championship from Italo. You haven't seen one from Filipe, so that even adds more to the frustration too.
I agree. Here we go with Italo Ferreira. Quick off the top there, lightning fast, and another super speedy slash and make it 3. Has to fight with this whitewater for the completion. Make sure he rides out in front. He's going to run out of water on the cobblestones right on the inside. But what about the speed of attack for Italo Ferreira? Looking for a 3.5 or better to flip this heat on Filipe Toledo.
Just because he's added on more weight to his body too. And then Italo, this is the first wave of this exchange. I love this combo right here. 2 turns right in the pocket. And as I said, quick in transition. Very difficult to do in a short space. Personally, I've hit my rib cage a lot too.
Toledo. Speedy carve to start. Another rail gouging carve. Tapered wave, however, for Filipe. Snaps for some variety. Comes to the inside, gets the finish, times the finish, rides out in front. So we're going to have a nice exchange between Filipe Toledo and Italo Ferreira. Likely Italo's going to take the lead. By how much, we're not going to know until we get that number and figure out what the requirement's going to be for Filipe Toledo. So a seesaw, back and forth affair so far.
But it's kind of been a little bit of tic-tac-toe in the sense that they've been selecting their waves a lot more than the previous heat. Great, beautiful 2 first turns right there. Quick in transition. And how's the amount of power that he's putting into these last 2 turns as well. You can definitely see the spray that he's putting on.
Quick feet from Italo Ferreira. He's back up and riding again. Here he goes. Just a couple of carves to set up down the line. Nothing on offer. Nothing available for Italo Ferreira.
Oh no, we're all friends. You know, he's a good guy. I really like him, and that's why I invited him to stay with me, and we're gonna have a good time.
I think the body language said it all, didn't it, Kaipo? He wasn't very stoked with the result of that heat, but either way, he's got 2 semifinals already in his first 2 events.
Ferreira banging away on the backhand, looking down the line, and nothing doing. Resume competition, stop number 8 at the Oi Rio Pro. Ferreira, our heat leader, just taking off there, kicking out, a set coming through, and Filipe Toledo starting to scratch into position. Toledo with priority. As you can see on the bottom of your screen, running the events that we run and the future events we have coming up. Italo Ferreira has to give way to Filipe Toledo, who executes on his priority. Little gaff off the beginning, looks for the wrap, alley-oop, it's a huge one and stomps it. No problem for Toledo. More amplitude, air, reverse for finish, and those are the combos that make Filipe Toledo so dangerous. Alley-oop to frontside, air, reverse, very little space in between those 2 airs, Mitchell. He is going to flip this heat right now, for sure, getting north of that 5.2 requirement.
But the wave actually ended up being a great one. Beautiful first turn, carves it up right there, driving through his rails, and how's this alley-oop? Beautiful technique, especially in the landing, and a quick transition to go into the next air. Boy, what a combo. You talk about one of the greatest surfers of all time, especially at point breaks. He's been the king of Africa a couple of times. He's going to be the king of the Latin American Jeffrey Bay here at the end of the day, I feel.
I love to be able to really study this in slow motion, the leverage, the alley-oop against the wind, Mitchell, and then this is the important part. The shock absorbers to get back down there, get back on his toes, to engage that rail. No loss of momentum, enough speed to get into this next maneuver and flip it out, that pop.
But look at his eyesight, though. See how he's always looking at the landing as he's going up into the air. That's not only the key to great airs, but it's also the key to sticking them too, Kaipo.
Ferreira has to streak down the line, long wall in front of him, clears that section with a float, goes for the fin throw reverse, needs more on the inside, a little bit of a jumbled up wave, and he does not see a ramp down the line. Meanwhile, that 9.7, again, when you can manufacture scores off of mediocre waves, that is a world champion skill set. Here we go, Italo trying to get back in the game. Has to skitter through that first turn. Looking down the line, look for something big. Backhand air rotation. Floats that second section. Needs more open face, gets it, stabs it through there. Lip line glide. Gets caught up on his heels.
Well, needs a 7.1 to break combo. Then when we would need a perfect 10.
He's going to get it. He's going to get an on-fire Filipe Toledo.
And he's going to have to do his best surfing to beat him too, Kaipo.
Toledo, effortless in the ollie nose pick reverse. No problem. Just the control of the feet and the board. Why not one more? Quick rotation out of that revert. No problem again. One more. Let's go for 3 on the same wave. And a little cheeky 360 on the inside. Freestyle Filipe Toledo. One more time. Enjoy this replay.
Yeah, so a beautiful first air. Get a projection down the line. And you see this air wind just going into him the whole time. It just facilitates that maneuver selection that he's using right now. And then just for a little bit of fun with the carving 3 right at the end.
Italo Ferreira, however, has been, really hasn't been in a final since Newcastle of last year, where he won that event. So great result for Italo Ferreira, but Filipe Toledo will be in your